Hello, everyone. I'm back again today. I think within a week's time. And today I'm not taking up anything in particular as far as the English language is concerned or some relevant matter about education. But before introducing the topic, let me first welcome you back and extend my greetings to you on this wonderful sunny afternoon. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting, and thank you for all those views which you've had of the previous video on the NCF, the National Curriculum Framework. It sure feels nice when I see that so many people have seen the video, and I would welcome more comments. But anyhow, whenever it's convenient, please do post. So welcome again. And the topic for today I've chosen is women empowerment, because this is something about which, people have been shouting hoarse from rooftops. So women empowerment is the topic which I have selected to speak on today. So here is the presentation. I'm going to deal with this in a little more detail, what it's all about, what are the advantages, how to implement it, or like how to go about the entire thing. So here is my screen, the presentation which I've made. Okay, so here goes. I'll have a slideshow. Yes, so I'll move myself into one side. Yes. So the world needs strong women, and empowering women is the need and importance of the day. Like we know that both men and women are two wheels of the same cart. And if one of them breaks down for some reason, or it's not working, it's non-functional, it's going to be very difficult to pull that cart along. So it's of utmost importance that women are given importance and they are empowered. In what way and how, we are going to discuss in the subsequent slides. Yes. So before we get on to the nitty-gritties of women empowerment, let's just first understand why it is important. So it has countless benefits for individuals, yes, for businesses and the society as a whole. Because if we grow, we all grow together. So in this presentation, we are going to explore the different facets of women's empowerment and how can we all work towards a more equal or equitable future. Okay, now what exactly is empowerment? Leave aside women empowerment. What is empowerment per se? So empowerment actually means, if you want to define it, it means providing any individual, it could be a man, it could be a woman, with the skills of knowledge, resources, and authority to make decisions and to take action. In some households, we've seen that women have absolutely no choice of making any kind of decision or to take action. So they're always dependent upon their elders or maybe the male counterparts in the family. So this empowerment means to have an individual empowered with the skills of knowledge, resources, and the authority to make decisions and actions. So it involves a shift in power relations. That is, for some things, a man should be responsible, and for certain other actions, the woman should be responsible. And it also increases self-esteem and self-confidence. So this is the reason we need empowerment, because empowerment means having an increase of self-esteem and self-confidence. So it is applicable to either of the two genders. It could be a man, it could be a woman. So they need to be empowered. Okay. Now, these are the components of empowerment. That is, empowerment has 5 components, and each of these components is very essential to building up of an empowered individual. First and foremost is the sense of self-worth. There's nobody who's useless. Everyone has certain good points. They have their own, you can say, qualities. And so one should be aware of the qualities and the worth they are of. So this sense of self-worth is really important before we think of empowerment. The second is the right to have and to determine choices. I mean, even in the smallest of things, like even in the sometimes the planning of the daily menu, a woman is not given any choice. It's the male, it's the maybe the eldest male member of the family who dictates that this is going to be made today. So at least in the kitchen, a woman should have some powers. So it's not just the kitchen that I'm talking of. In a broader spectrum, there are so many things which a woman could decide upon, where to send the children to study, or how to go about educating them, how to save money, you know. So all these kinds of things which are which pertain to the family and its growth, I feel personally that a woman should also have the rights to determine. She should have these choices. The third component is the right to have access to opportunities and resources. She should also be given the right to access the opportunities. Let her work. Let her go out. Let her take an opportunity to showcase her own talents. She could be a dancer, she could be a singer, she could be just about anything in the world. And she must have the power, or she must, have that kind of belief in herself that she can do well in that particular field. So she should be able, or I mean, it should not be the males of the family who will allow her to do something. She herself should assert herself and go and take up these opportunities, and also make use of the resources which are available to her. She should not feel, have a setback kind of a thing, or she should not abstain from doing something just because somebody may feel bad. So she should go ahead and have access to the opportunities and the resources which she feels are available to her. The fourth important component of empowerment is the right to have power to control their own lives. I mean, at least for her own life, she should be having that kind of power. So she should speak, she should say, she should go out and do things which she feels herself are good for her. The fifth component is the ability to influence the direction of social change. Usually women had no say when it came to societal changes. So, but today, fortunately, with the educational facilities being given to girls, and slowly they have come up. So now a woman also has a hand in the change of society. She also can turn the, you can say, the sails of the change in the society. So she also have access to that kind of change. So she should have the ability to influence the direction of social change, right? That is important. That's the last component of empowerment. Now, there are 3 L's, or 3 levels of women empowerment, and these are literacy, labor, and leadership. To do anything, you need to have that kind of confidence. And where does confidence emanate from? It comes from literacy. If a woman is educated, if a girl is educated, she becomes literate, she gains knowledge, and that gives her a lot of confidence. And so then she can go out to work, which is labor. So when she goes out, she asserts herself, she understands her self-worth, she gets to know that this is also something which she can do. It could be anything. She can be a doctor, she could be an engineer, she could be a finance officer, she could be a teacher, she could be just anything. But she can go and work only if she is literate, only when she is educated. Just being knowledgeable, just being experienced is not enough. There are certain theoretical points also which are important. So literacy or education makes you attain that level. And of course, leadership. So once a woman goes out to work, she rises slowly and steadily, and she comes to a higher pedestal, and from there she can lead. So if we educate one woman, rest assured, we're going to educate a much bigger part of the society. Yes. now the levels and stages of empowerment. We keep talking about empowerment, but how to go about it? So just as every drop makes the ocean, similarly, every woman is important. So the first stage or the first level of empowerment is individual. We have to make these women empowered individually. Okay. So like when they get together, so first the lowest level is individual, then a group. It could be a small group, maybe a few people, then organizational. Like for example, a school, there you have lots of girls and ladies working. So that is an organizational setup. And then the topmost is community empowerment. That is at a much larger level. So if one individual and on seeing that particular individual, others also join in. So slowly and steadily, this power, this strength will build up from pillar to pillar. So from individual to group, from group to organization, and from organization to community empowerment. This is how we plan to look at empowerment. Right. Now, there are pillars of women empowerment also. And here there are 5 pillars at its foundation. It's education, health, security, finances, and emotion. A woman needs to be educated. She should be aware about her health. She should have security, security of herself as an individual and of her family. Finances, she should be financially independent, and emotional support. It could be from the family or friends or from the society. So these are the 5 pillars. And if a woman has all of these, then she is surely going to be empowered. Right. Now, whenever we start with something, there are bound to be challenges. There are bound to be opposition from various sources. So for women's empowerment, there are so many factors which may be a kind of, a stone or a boulder in her path. And these are patriarchy, where again, the males are supposed to be the be-all and end-all of the family. Gender bias, the son in the family being favored more than the daughter. Lack of education, yes, a girl is not allowed to go and study. And discriminatory laws and policies are some of the key challenges that prevent women from achieving their full potential. It could be at the family level, it could be at the level of the society, the social setup. So these are the challenges. But if a woman is, brave enough to overcome all of these, then there's sure shot success waiting for her. There could be, as you can see in the picture, there's a no in front of her, but she can always turn back and go to the yes part. So it's up to her to decide. How to implement women empowerment? Now, there are so many ways in which we can help women to achieve this potential. First is mentorship and sponsorship. These programs can help women build networks and access opportunities and resources. Today, there are so many social organizations which have come up to make women aware of their potential. And so these programs, if women attend, they will be able to come up with their own, maybe their own businesses, or maybe they can go out and work in some organization. As said earlier, education and training are very important again for a woman. So if they are provided with adequate education and training on different topics, it's not necessarily that she has to be a teacher only, or a professor, or a doctor, or an engineer. There are so many fields or channels where she can go out and work. So these wide range of topics can help build skills and knowledge. It could be hospitality, it could be media, it could be just about anything. So the third one is policy and advocacy. So if the government creates policies and advocates for a change through activism and lobbying, it can help in breaking down of barriers and create equal opportunities for women. So support from the government is also very crucial in bringing about women's empowerment. Okay. Now, when we do empower our women, these are the advantages and benefits which will be the outcomes of are steps. So for women, the advantages are that it will lead to higher incomes, better health outcomes, increased political participation, and greater decision-making power, which is really, really of utmost importance. So not only will the family improve, not only will the children become more educated, but also the health in general, the situation of a family or the condition of the family is going to improve to a great level because there'll be higher incomes as well. For businesses and organizations, if you empower women, it's going to lead to increased innovation, improved financial performance, stronger and more diverse teams, and better customer service, because women have a different way of thinking. And when they come to play, then it's going to be a very different ballgame altogether, because they have their own angle at looking at a certain thing. They have their own views. And if we bring about women empowerment to the society, it's going to lead to reduced poverty and inequality, improved education, improved health outcomes, and greater peace and security. Right. In leadership, if we have more of female representation, then again, there are a few more advantages. In STEM, that is in the STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and medicine, here you will see that it leads to greater innovation, more creative solutions, and better products and services. Similarly, in politics and education, if we have more women, you will definitely see a change towards the positive side. Yeah. Women empowerment in India, the current situation is that despite progress in India, women still continue to face challenges such as gender-based violence, limited access to education and healthcare, and unequal pay and opportunities for some reasons or the other. But this can always be changed. The situation can always be changed towards the better. Because if we empower women in India, it's going to be a multifaceted approach, which involves education, legal reforms, and a great societal change. So it's going to be a big paradigm shift. And organizations like SEVA and the Self-Employed Women's Association, that is, they're leading the way towards this goal. Okay. Now, whenever there is something good which happens, there is always a flip side to it. So similarly, when we have now started educating our daughters and we've brought them up to higher pedestals, we have seen that some of us, the fairer side of the society, is taking undue advantage of these powers or facilities or maybe legal reforms which have taken place. So discrimination exists again against men and boys as well, and it's growing now. If you see newspapers, if you read newspapers, you see that now it's the girls who are troubling the boys. So contrary to popular belief, men and boys can also be subject to discrimination. And today, men are being victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. And unfortunately, our laws are not in their favor. A girl can just go out and she can lodge a complaint against somebody, and that poor man will be put behind the bars without even being, without any kind of case or lawsuit which is filed against him. So this is something which is not okay, because if a man is arrested on the complaint of a woman, it is non-bailable. So this also, unfortunately, is the flip side to empowerment of women. They are taking undue advantage of the resources which are being made available to them. The law is towards this side, so they are taking undue advantage. So there's some more to this story. The dowry prevention law is there, and now today girls, they file, what should I say, false cases against their in-laws and the husband. They get arrested and nobody listens to them. So this section was basically enacted to protect the dignity of a woman, but it is being misused, and now they are using it to harass and blackmail their husband and his family. So now the remedy is mutual understanding and respect for each one's abilities and constraints. There has to be equality in social, economic, cultural, and educational rights, and it has to be maintained for both. So none should look down on the other. They must understand that they are both, banks of the two banks of the same river, and they have to be together. They cannot. I mean, that's a wrong example because they can never meet. But I mean, the river has to flow in between. So if for a good life, they have to be together. So let's work towards empowerment for all. What we can do is we can support women-owned businesses. We can advocate for women's rights where it's required. It should not be something that, we give something to a woman or a lady or a girl when she doesn't deserve it. So deserving people should be given their rights. And that, of course, we can very easily decide who deserves, who does not deserve. We have to mentor or sponsor young women and challenge discrimination wherever we see it. It could be either ways: discrimination against women, discrimination against men. So we need a call to action, and together we can build a more equal and just world. Let's empower women to reach their full potential and create positive change for all. So this is something which we must remember, that neither a man nor a woman are complete without each other. We have to work towards having or creating a better society and a better world to live together. So that's the conclusion which I have just mentioned, that in the dawn of a new era, let's have both men and women work towards a healthy society, because none can exist without the other. So thank you so much, viewers. This was my short presentation, not really short, but kind of short presentation on women empowerment. So let's celebrate the elegance of womanhood, because there's nothing better than having a woman in her right perspective. She stands straight with dignity. She stands with pride and exudes elegance and exuberance. So thank you so much for tuning into my channel again today, and hoping to see you once again at the earliest with something which is more relevant and something of interest. So till then, it's signing off for today. Thanks a lot, everyone. Bye-bye.